Welcome to DR show. This is Dr. Tangella Shiva Prasad Reddy alias Dr. TSPR. Namaste, Adab, hello and a warm welcome to Dr. KJ Ramesh Garu, former Director General, Indian Meteorological Department. Sir, hearty welcome. I'll start first with
Thank you so much.
Because it's pleasure to host you and very important, but I really appreciate, sir. I would say you always said one thing, let us not complicate. When Wayanad was happening, Assam was being flooded, Jammu and Kashmir, the way it was, and then Himalayan region, how it started to, not the least even Hyderabad and Bengaluru, how they were suffering. But you said, Dr. Reddy, let us wait because we could not prevent such disasters. At least the rehabilitation part and the rescue and operations part, let them take place so that at least those who can survive have a better care rather than compounding already existing woes. So I salute you, sir, because every other politician wants, but wonderful guests who have been part of these DRTSPR channels, they were trying to mitigate where we went wrong. When we are saying where we went wrong, they don't want to learn, Dr. KJ Ramesh Garu. That is where I feel sorry. Last 4 years, you have been with our DRTSPR channels. Every year, and even irrespective of rainy season, also you are coming onto the show, including Kaleshwaram. How a mega project should be constructed 100 years before, 100 years after. Laymen like us, we were able to understand not just the topographical aspects, but the other aspects have to be considered. So when such is the case to construct a dam, how is that the existing natural resources, whether it's ghats, mountains, rivers, and oceans, and then the fresh water bodies, lakes, nalas, how should we maintain them? Why we could not do that simple logical before monsoon or pre-monsoon or every season before? Why we could not assess and protect our natural resources and advise people so that the precious lives and properties, and more important, so the damage to natural resources will not happen. So from here I start. Dr. KJ Ramesh Garu, is it not a fact that right from Prime Minister to Chief Minister, for that matter, every political figure or the executive, Cabinet Secretary to Chief Secretary or the district collectors, will they not get a warning of weather much before on their mobile phones?
They are sent. Warnings are sent. Even the kind of intensity anticipated is also indicated with the probability of precipitation is also indicated. Take, for example, the same Wayanad case. 4 days before it was indicated that it will be minimum of 200 millimeter rain in 24 hours will happen. That rain intensity of that magnitude will continue more than a day. So when 20 centimeter per day likely to be for more than 1 day in vulnerable segment of Wayanad, this is vulnerability is defined by the Kerala government itself. Parts of Wayanad in 2009 study constituted by the Kerala government itself, National Center for Earth Science Studies, their own state government department then. Now it has become a central government department. Their own study funded by state government has identified most vulnerable ecological point of view, physical point of view, for several things should not be disturbed at all. That kind of category is identified. That's where we have seen this major landslide leading to so much of damage.
Yeah, because Honorable Chief Minister or Amit Shah ji, Union Home Minister, under whom this National Disaster Management Authority falls. Now, both have been having different, and Honorable Chief Minister says Kala Avastha, climate change. Fine, climate change, I'll come to the causes of that. But when he has the information, and as you rightly pointed out, in 2009 itself, Kerala government has sufficient information. Am I right or wrong, sir, in regards to Wayanad?
Yes, 100%. Their own study. That PDF also I have shared with you leisurely. You can analyze that. Subbarao garu can analyze that more in detail in geological point of view. Not now. I think 4-5 days before when we were discussing, soon after the event, I have shared it. I can share it again. That can be a separate
Yeah, we'll discuss
episode.
separately with Subbarao, as you rightly said. But it is there in the history, right from 2009.
Yes, yes, yes. It is not a newly identified region, newly became vulnerable. No.
United Democratic Front, represented by Rahul Gandhi ji, Wayanad MP, till before, and United Democratic Front government party there, Left Democratic Party, and NDA. So the report is already there, my dear Kerala political parties, and all those chief secretaries and those IAS officers of Wayanad and all. The report is already there with you since 2009. Then why you did not act? Don't you think if they had acted much before to protect these muddy red mud slopes called Wayanad, don't you think this disaster could have been avoided, sir?
100% it would have been avoided had they been taking note of the recommendations of that report. They should not have allowed any development, no resort, no road, no land use change. Whatever habitations they were living in small hamlets, they would have lived happily.
They would
Floods have been there in the Wayanad even in the past. But magnitude of this damage has never happened because you have changed the land use. We have allowed construction. We have allowed mining and blasting associated with construction and mining have created more vulnerability to the already vulnerable slopes. That is what is the actual fact happened.
So
resorts, roads leading to resorts in the highly vulnerable slopes is the cause of concern that Kerala people also will agree, and their own magazines and dailies are accepting that very clearly.
So their own magazines and everyone is, this is what you have sent. I'm just trying to put it across. Wayanad land slide highlights rescue operations. Choromal entered 4-day death toll goes very high. So this is how it has happened. Now you clearly say this report is there from since 2009 and much before when we consider Gadgil report also.
Yes, yes.
Madhavan Gadgil report also on Western Ghats. It is already there prior and he has clearly identified risk zone areas and all. But that also he was laughing, Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan. You mean to say a chief minister laughing at a crucial report in spite of such a big tragedy? How does it surmount to the IAS officers lobby who are supposed to be there in a permanent way in any state? You think they are?
This is what is the most unfortunate part of it. Many times we feel that we are not knowing, we are not making people to realize in what kind of vulnerable condition, what kind of risk at which they are living and doing the development, we are not able to convey. But in this particular case, we are able to convey, and scientific studies have brought out this particular aspect of high risk zone, and still we have allowed development, and that too unplanned development which is increasing the risk already over and above the risk which was there by virtue of its nature. And this is the most unfortunate part. This is not limiting to Kerala alone. It is true for even Nilgiris. It is true for whole of Western Ghats, whether it is Karnataka segment or Konkan segment. It is take it the case of Northeast, Sikkim, Himalayas, East Himachal, Uttarakhand, and everywhere. This is applicable to all most vulnerable regions, and we are allowing run of the river hydroelectric projects one after the another. They are collapsing, and August 2023 we have seen the kind of scale of damage which has done to Himalayas, particularly to the newly constructed 4-lane expressway between Manali and Mandi. So much damage has happened. Now between Mandi and Keelong Valley, extra damage has happened now. So it is all coming in front of us and happening in front of our own eyes, knowing very well we are allowing tourists. See Kedarnath, people, 10,000 pilgrims were there in the Uttarakhand. So they, with great difficulty, they have brought about 4 to 5,000 people now, and several people are stranded in between where the highway blockage of massive degree has happened in Uttarakhand due to current heavy rainfall. And we don't know. No, this is not the first time Uttarakhand is experiencing. We are not able to restrict the movement of pilgrims. That cannot, the place cannot take the load of so many pilgrims. We know very well about it, but still in the name of tourism, we are not able to control, even after experiencing massive flood and associated damages in 2013. I don't know how we will learn and how we learn to manage our own pilgrimage, tourists, and the safety of the people. At the same time, apart from the government, I blame the people also. Knowing very well, seeing the impact of disasters and rains bringing havoc in hill states, still thousands of people are going, and tourist operators are announcing packages after packages. And I don't know where to, whom to blame actually. It is from both the sides now.
It is from both the sides, from all the sides. We are showing from Western Ghats to Jammu and Kashmir. This is Western Ghats,
Yes.
Wayanad, and I am showing you. This is Karnataka, as he rightly pointed out, launches task force
Yes.
to tackle encroachments, because even
Now this is the after effect of Wayanad. Now
Yeah.
Karnataka government started to identify task forces constituted to identify illegal constructions and encroachments. Now at least eye-opening on administrative level, some formal step started happening.
Yeah, Karnataka takes action as Kodagu faces landslide threats this side of Wayanad, Western Ghats. So they have
Yes.
they have constituted Khandre launches task force to tackle encroachments. He is the Minister of Forest Ecology and has announced the formation of task force to address encroachments in the Western Ghats and other forested areas in Karnataka. The task force will focus on illegal resorts, homestays, and unauthorized developments, and is led by the Principal Chief Conservator of Forest, Mr. Ishwar B. Khandre. This will be like what? 2009 Kerala report? Sir, Kerala also has done
very. This is at least to the kind of damage and impact Wayanad has seen. So the Karnataka segment of Western Ghats, now they have opened their eyes. At least formally, they want to identify encroachments, and stop construction. At least they have. I think they have stopped new resorts. Construction is not possible in the Western Ghats of Karnataka. But at least existing ones which are already built, they want to identify the illegal ones, unauthorized ones, and which are increasing the vulnerability of the already most vulnerable areas of Western
But
Ghats.
I only hope it should not become like what Kerala has become in 2009. They have
let us hope that at least Kerala report was identifying the most vulnerable high risk zones. And after the identification, this action should have been taken, not to allow any development wherever most vulnerable regions are identified, mapped in safe places, relatively safe places. Maybe 1 floor, 2 floor constructions could have been allowed. That
the irony is,
front, and some stages, some regulation of development is needed.
Yeah, but the irony is, the Kerala son-in-law, Pinarayi Vijayan's son-in-law, Honorable Chief Minister's son-in-law, Mr. Riaz himself is the tourism minister, and he is from Malabar region. And see the destruction, Mr.
Yes.
No signs of any resignation or taking moral responsibility for such devastation, killing so many innocent people. The limbs apart, head apart, what is that nonsense? No one takes responsibility, and no one even blames anyone, no one even demands anyone. That is the irony. Why? Because since 2019, the report is there, it has been taken over by union government. Now the same union government is there, now both are trading charges against each other. This one, he is filing privileges motion. Even central government, much before monsoon, every monsoon, after 2018 also, that cascading effect, why it is keeping quiet? Or because I don't blame politicians, they come and go, but even they should understand when they take oath on the constitution, constitution means people of India. When they take oath, it is their solemn responsibility. But more so about these IAS, IPS, IPS, IFS officers who are manning such departments. Don't you think so, sir? Don't you think they are grossly negligent, equally or more responsible?
I fully agree. The administrators, the bureaucracy of the state, they are the people who will be continuously there. Political masters will come and go and change because of the parties coming to power, they change. But the actual situation, ground situation of the any state is managed by the bureaucracy, and they are in continuity, and they are supposed to advise the people at the governance level to take right decisions, feed them with right information truthfully. But if that was happening, we don't see the kind of damages that are happening now. So that shows that that has not been the case. Bureaucracy is also not fully discharging their duties truthfully in the public interest.
GHMC boss was their ex-boss. When I went there, he feels it is his darbar. All IAS or IPS or IFS, they feel it is their darbar. They are public servants. They have to understand. They are public servants meant for public purpose and utility in a transparent and accountable way. But they don't have time to commoners. When we go and try to point out encroachments of public lands, open spaces, or for that matter, patta lands, they don't want to act. This is the irony. They feel we are disturbing them as if it is their own, landscape where they are landlords or rajas, maharajas. So before that, now let us, this one, constructions altering natural flow of water can affect stability of slopes trigger. Now we'll come to the reasons or causes, one after the other. Then we will go to the climate change last, because you are master of that. Now, constructions altering natural flow of water can affect stability of slopes, trigger landslides. Deepankar Chaudhary. In the Mumbai region, the natural flow path of water on the slopes has been altered for development, which is a major factor for triggering landslides. And the same thing has happened in Wayanad, Kerala, Jammu and Kashmir, whether it is Sikkim, all those hilly areas. Now Karnataka, we have seen. What is your comment, sir?
Yes, Himachal, Uttarakhand have already shown the consequence of this kind of effort, trying to change the course of the rivers and trying to change the natural gravity flow of water, whether it is river channel, whether it is a nala or drainage. So that's where when encroachment takes place, all these damages would happen. So this is again, we are hearing from the authorized person, professional people who are responsible for it, are telling us again and again on record. So now we realize that whatever we have done in the past couple of decades, 3 decades, that development and investment is not for stability and resilience. That is causing more risk, increasing the risk on which already we are living. Bombay is a low-lying area. Already heavy rainfall creates problem, and the river was encroached. We have seen the effect of that in 2005. So now the very distinguished professor of IIT Mumbai is telling even this kind of encroachment of nalas and rivers blocking and changing the course of water flow can destabilize the slopes and can give landslides. So these are all the known and felt effects are brought out by the highly distinguished academia in the country, and this has been there in several reports. Tens of reports are there at national level and regional level, state level. Still, the irony is we are not taking the guidance from those studies and acting upon it. So this is where now the public opinion public pressure has to emerge to make people to work on risk management and risk reduction.
risk management and risk reduction. And so it's an interesting thing that cloudburst, see, this is what I was trying to tell you. In Jammu and
Yes.
Kashmir, Srinagar, Leh highway closed, as we rightly pointed out. And then this is who is responsible for Sikkim's glacial lake outburst flood that appeared in Frontline October 25th, 2023. The author researcher Mona Chetri wrote on the night of October 3rd, 2023, the South Lonak Lake in North Sikkim breached, causing a glacial lake outburst flood, GLOF. So these are all. And
see here, October 3rd, 2023, the breach of the lake, glacial lake is recorded. On 25th, we see this is what happening. And even after gap of 20 days, 3 weeks, we could not take any steps to protect this hydroelectric project and regulate the water flow coming out of the glacier lake outburst. So here in this case, 3 weeks advance information. And what more people need?
now, who should be blamed? It's public money, huge loss, thousands of crores of public money and precious lives. And not only precious lives, but the entire riverine system is breached, encroached.
Yes, yes, yes.
Who should take the blame, sir?
So much of habitations around this Tista River have taken the actually the impact, adverse impact. So much of damage to happen to not only government assets, even private assets are damaged.
Private
And
asset.
Gauhati, this particular year, right from May, middle, we are seeing floods in Brahmaputra.
Floods in Brahmaputra, because we have been showing that regularly, but now I'm showing more cloudburst in Jammu and Kashmir, Srinagar, Leh highway closed. August 4, 2004,
Yes.
just recently. So what do
Yes,
you,
sir.
what do you say about this?
See, hill states during monsoon are bound to get this kind of high intensity, short duration rainfall. So from 2013, we are seeing this is happening in hill states. And now we have to, these warnings are definitely indicated. You cannot say that cloudburst is a 10 centimeter precipitation in 1 hour. But predicting that with a lot of lead time is not possible. But 3 hours, 6 hours lead time it is given. But 24 hours before or 72 hours before, probability of high intensity precipitation is given. More than 20 centimeters, more than 25 centimeters is given in 24 hours. That itself is good enough for authorities to say people travel has to be stopped. Movement of the people, movement of the vehicles, movement of the tourists have to be stopped based on that, so that they will not go and get trapped. And it puts pressure again on the administration to prepare for their rescue, work for their rescue, whether it is NDRF, Army, so much of effort. Why not? You see, so for so many days, so many people are working on it. And Uttarakhand, you see, people stranded in Kedarnath Valley to take them out. They are struggling more than a week. Even then, out of 10,000, we could only
I'm showing you.
people only 4,000 people to the safer locations.
This is Uttarakhand. Leading to the closure of over 2,000 roads.
200 roads, yes.
200 roads. I have shown Himachal Pradesh. Now I'm showing Uttarakhand, Jammu and Kashmir. Sikkim also, even in October in 2023, 3 weeks, 20 days warning before on the Tista River. But still, why this official apathy? Why are they allowing this tourism in the name of tourism? Don't you think they are widening roads? They are interfering with the loose soils of the mountains in the name of tourism. Don't you think this is a major thing? Concrete jungle construction. Don't you think this is the major aspects of these type of disasters?
The most agonizing part is in 2013 itself, Kedarnath tragedy has shown That area cannot take load of so many tourists and so many hotels and so much of development, not only in around the surrounding Kedarnath temple, but all along the Uttarakhand region, whether it is Badrinath area, Joshimath area, and all other Pithoragarh side of the Uttarakhand. We have been seeing the development is causing more risk, adding more risk to the already existing risk, and still we are not controlling the movement of tourists. Even when the warnings are given, particularly after the monsoon comes, I think we have to take very, very serious steps in allowing the tourists to visit these pilgrim places, particularly Chardham Yatra. So year after year, we are seeing, and tourists are allowed, and then to bring them back to safer levels, we are putting so much of effort on the disaster response forces, NDRF or SDRF, and moreover on our army and BSF, so much of extra effort they have to put in to bring people to the safer
We salute the
localities,
lady officer
risking
also.
their own lives.
They
Risking
their
their own lives,
lives.
the rescue operations are to be planned.
In Wayanad, I mean Wayanad also, I'll come back to this, a lady officer who was very instrumental army officer in laying the bridge in such a short time. She was late.
Yes.
We salute such type of wonderful
Yes.
people, but they are risking their lives. Why should we allow such risks? See here, I'm showing you once again how this entire part of a mountain comes off and then it disturbs the ecological pattern in that area. The entire, and how can you replace? You tell me, once that comes off, how can you construct again? How can you stabilize that area, sir? Don't you think that area will get stabilized, and more so in monsoon when heavy rains happen? And don't you think so in hilly areas, these cloud bursts are normal? And even in Hyderabad, like, or Karnataka, Bangalore, we have seen why these cloud bursts are happening. Is it because of the aerosols from the construction, as was Gadgil was saying? They more and more they move away, and then they interfere with the rain patterns. That is why concentrated rainfall in one area.
No, see, there are multiple factors for the local area rain enhancement. Aerosol is one of it. Aerosol loading is one of it. Unless and until loading of moisture by monsoon type circulation or depression or a cyclone, rain bearing system has to be the cause of heavy rainfall. Rain bearing system will happen, high intensity, short duration precipitation will happen only with the unprecedented moisture loading over a particular region. Whether it is Uttarakhand, whether it is heavy rainfall in Hyderabad, heavy rainfall in Western Ghats, Wayanad, or any region, heavy rainfall happening any part of the country is main cause is triggered by a unprecedented high concentrated moisture loading from the atmospheric circulation. If it is Western Ghats, it is coming from the Arabian Sea. If it is Central India, it is coming from Bay of Bengal. And Peninsular India, both when circulation is there, cyclonic circulation is there, both moisture feed from the Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal come together, and that's how the rainfall happens. This increased moisture loading is dependent on the ambient temperature there. Ambient temperature increase is there because of global warming. Temperatures are above normal because of global warming. Each 1 degree warming will allow moisture to take extra moisture loading of 7%. This we have seen. This is a calculated value by the IPCC. And if you see our Himalayas, for example, Himalayas low level up to 2000 meters warming is higher. Upper levels warming is lower. So wherever relatively more than 1 degree, 2 degree, there 2 degree warming is already seen in most of the Himalayan parts. If 2 degree warming means normally 14% extra moisture loading is possible for the atmosphere.
So that is science.
To hold.
That is science.
That is science. When 14% extra moisture is there, cloud burst has to be there.
So it is already there.
Those areas are
Records.
bound to receive more and more heavy rainfall events.
So that is not something unnatural because of that moisture loading, because of that extra 1 degree heat, warmth. This type of precipitation will happen and cloud bursts will happen. Am I right, sir? So that is science. This is science. This is not rocket science as they are trying to claim.
This is over and above the already heavy rainfall areas. Western Ghats, Wayanad, Konkan, Malabar, all the regions are known heavy rainfall areas in the country. Not now. Monsoon, highest rain happens over the Western Ghats in the peninsular India. And over and above, you can expect the increase of 7 to 15% extra moisture means extra water, extra rainfall will come. That's what is happening in short duration and high intensity precipitation.
Yeah, in textbooks also we used to read Chirapunji heavy rainfall that comes from eastern region. Eastern region,
Western
eastern India.
Western Ghats, Mahabaleshwar, Agumbe, there are so many places. Every state has got high rainfall locations in the Western Ghats. This is not the first time.
This is not the first time, Mr. All chief ministers and all political parties, and more so the administrators, you have to do your homework, not shouting at the visitors who come to your offices, IAS bosses. First understand, you study, you are there at the public expense. Public money is invested on your safeguards, everything, your office maintenance. Then why are you not trying to gain knowledge and come to the rescue of innocent citizens and natural resources? That is your duty. Am I right or wrong, sir?
100%, that is their responsibility. But unfortunately, to discharge that responsibility, whatever science-based guidance is available for regulating the development, unfortunately, that has not happened, even after the evidence is generated.
Right. Even after the evidence is generated, there is no proper scientific mode of development. Sustainable goals, they say, but where is science? It has, if sustenance happen, there should be science, some logic should be there. So again, center tables amendments to Disaster Management Act amid divergent views. And Bill 2000, again, the same thing. 2009, it is there. 2024, likewise, every time you do, but where is the action? This is what administrators, the administrative impulse action is never there. Pre-monsoon readiness, where is it? We are failed utterly.
See, now we had 2005 Disaster Management Act, established National Disaster Management Authority and State Disaster Management Authority and District Disaster Management Authorities.
Yes.
And now that is not helping the urban areas and municipalities to avoid urban flooding.
Right.
So now what this new amendment, major amendment,
city disaster management.
What they are, for every city, they want to create an urban disaster management authority, municipal disaster management authority, and more regulatory bodies are coming, but nobody is working on developing the guiding science, how to minimize the urban flooding, which is already happening. So that is the
irony of the development.
See more authorities definitely will come.
Yeah, we will come
tomorrow
back.
Parliament is discussing these amendments.
So this is there. We will out Uttarakhand. This we will discuss later, as you rightly said. The PPT is there ready. We are going to come back, Mr. Prime Minister and all chief ministers, all political parties, cabinet secretary to chief secretary. We are not speaking in the air. We are going to come back to you very hard because enough of this. How many times? How many?
This particular report, site situation report of Uttarakhand, just now we have shown.
Yeah. We will discuss it, sir. We will, and I'm going to, because last 3 minutes, this I'm going to play.
Yes. And this is a tool now UN has offered for countries to adopt and authorities to create a database of damages. At least now on, we will know why damages have happened, what was the such damage, and what we can do to minimize these losses and damages in future, at least targeting critical infrastructure, lifeline infrastructure, public assets, and society's assets also ultimately we have to address.
Wonderful.
Unlike 20 years before, now we have a lot of science-based evidence, IPCC at global level, and taking to the state government study of Kerala itself about the landslide risk happening at way back in 2009, and all that effort. See, so much of field surveys teams have carried out in those 2009 report. People were on the field for a couple of months to map the risk. So
Everything is
despite
there
that,
on record. Everything is there on record. Every time when a disaster happens, they will amend something and come back. But what is the net result? Thousands of crores of public money is invested after every disaster, but nothing is changing. The precious lives are lost and natural resources are absolutely looted, I would say, because of these construction activities. Before we say bye, couple's picture in front of same glacier 15 years apart slow devastating impact of climate change. This is
Alps, one of the glacier of Alps in Europe.
Yeah.
You can see 15 years before their photograph. Now the glacier is not there.
Last time also we have shown you Venezuela totally wiped out. Now Switzerland 50%. I
Yes,
think
yes.
50% is coming down in Switzerland. And those who want to again
Yes.
go back after 5 years, I don't think Swiss will have any glacier or ice. This is because of our own wrongdoings in the name of development. We are starting to destroy the very existing, we say, the nature, symbiosis with nature, the ice, glaciers and all. What is your last comment, sir, before we say bye? 1 minute time.
No, we have to learn to live with the nature. At least take a pledge not to spoil the environment and ecosystems on which we are surviving, allow them to further damage, and work towards restoring the ecosystems back to their normalcy, to their ecosystem sustainability and balance. And to that effort, everybody has to simply planting plants is not good enough. We have to work on water harvesting and send the water, whatever you collect on your rooftops, send it back to the soil from the same borewell area from which you are drawing your water. So see the example last May, here all borewells were dried up. Up to June, there was no rainfall. Only 1 month rainfall has filled everything again.
Yeah.
Everything is in surplus, abundance. So we have to understand, even can you imagine Nagarjuna Sagar getting filled in first week of August so early? Yeah. Very few occasions are there in the over century. End of the August only, if everything is good,
Learn to save